Hey everyone, I wanted to just give a brief description on how to do group work with GitHub and how to sync code up and down from your repository when you have multiple people working in that repository. So I'm going to have one example of a student over here on the left and then a different student over here on the right. And let's say that we have this one student, they've cloned their assignment down into VS Code on their computer, and they start working on their project, they start typing out some code. Hello world, they test it, it's starting to work, it's working. So they save their file and they go over to the source control tab, they stage their change, and let's say they make a comment like added hello world code. Awesome. So they commit, which if you remember creates a save state on your computer. In fact, you can see that right here, this added hello world code. But it hasn't gone over to my GitHub repository. In fact, let me go over to here just so you can see. This is right when another student would be accepting the assignment and they have a shared repository on GitHub for their group assignment. So you can see that that's the case because it has the assignment name and then the name of the group that they made up. You can see it's the same thing over here. So if I look over here, I can see the last time that any file was changed. So I've committed it here, but I haven't synced it. But once I sync it up here, and that finishes, if I go over here and I refresh my page, I can now see, look, it was committed just now. The commit message was added hello world code. And now I can see that everything is getting updated over to here. Let's say that I want to start working on the code now. So I'm going to clone this over here. Let's just go into here. Let's clone a repository, paste it in. Choose where we want this repository to go. Let's open it up. Okay, so now if I go over here, I can see that I now have that updated piece of code from the first student that started to work on it. And then if I want, I can just start working myself. I can say print hello world again. Let's say that's a good change I want to do. I'm going to save that. Let's stage my change. Say let's added more code. You can make this whatever you want. Try to make it descriptive, but let's commit that, which again, this is on my piece of, on my computer right now. See where it says added more code, except it's not over here because I haven't pushed it up to GitHub. So it says sync changes right here. That's going to push that commit up. And for some reason, it always takes longer on this virtual machine. I'm not sure why. So then if we go over here, I'm still not seeing it. Eventually, depending on the settings of your VS Code, it might check to see if there are changes every few minutes. But if you want, oh, there it went. Perfect. So then it now says sync changes. So I'm just going to do that right now. I'm going to pull those down. And now it automatically changed my file right there. If that isn't appearing for you, you can always just push this little refresh button right here that says synchronize changes. And that will check GitHub to see if there are any changes. But I've already pulled them down and that's working great. So then if you do that and you communicate well in your groups when each person is going to make changes and they always push their changes, and then you always make sure that you pull those changes on your own computer, everything will work perfectly. The problem might be is if you have something like version 1, hello again, and let's say at the same time before committing, you have another person working on the code at the same time and you haven't communicated. Let's call this version 2, hello again. Wow. You can make anything that you want. So let's say we both have our changes saved here. I'm gonna make a change here, changed hello message. Let's commit that and then sync the changes. And then over here, I'm also going to stage my change, made some more hello changes, and then I try and commit this. Then let's say I try to sync it. Oops. So what this is called is a merge conflict. So it's saying, so wherever the head starts right here, it's saying we don't know how to combine these two pieces of code because one person that had access to it pushed up a change and now you're trying to push up a change and we don't know how to combine these pieces of code. So this is again referred to as a merge conflict. And VS Code lets you resolve this if you just click this button right here that says Resolve in Merge Editor. So right here, it gives you, in fact, let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can see both versions of this at once. This is showing you both of the versions of those. So every commit that you make has a little ID number right there, so you can see both of those right there. So you can see version 2 right here and version 1. So you could just check this to get either this version or check this to get either that version. Or you could come down here and try and combine the two. So let me actually accept all the changes from the left. Let me accept all the changes from the right. So that goes down here. And if you want, you could even change any of the code that you want down here. I'll just keep that well, just for fun. Or you could delete anything down here. The point is that this bottom part is what you want your code to be once you complete merging it. So get this looking as you want it, then click Complete Merge. And there we go. It even makes a little message for you. You can add to it, fixed merge conflict. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to commit that and sync those changes back up. Then let's look back over here on our original one and let's see if we can get the this new version. There we go. I just synced it. I didn't have to push this button. It just added it perfectly for me because it knew it wouldn't conflict anymore. So now we're back synced up. Hopefully that gives you a good idea of how you can work through GitHub on group projects. The key being that you need to communicate with your group members if you're going to have someone working on the code one at a time and then you want someone else working at a later time. Just always make sure that you are pushing up your code and that you are syncing your code or fetching it from there, pulling it down onto your own machine. So if you have merge conflicts that you don't know how to fix, feel free to reach out to the TAs or to me and we'll try and help you out there. So thanks.